Hello, viewers, and welcome once again to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we look at issues happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. There is a trending story at this point in time. Remember, the Lacoste Faction was defeated in the previous or just ended war veterans elections. This is a very, very important faction or sector within the ZANU-PF politics, because the war veterans, they make critical decisions, and also they involve former liberation fighters who are within the military, and some of them who have retired. So the major question is VP Chiwenga's wife a real strategist working against the Lacoste faction? What is going on? One of the issues which I know is that VP Chiwenga's wife, Minotabo, is an expert in the field of intelligence within the military. She's an expert. She knows how to do her work. She knows how to get critical information. That is one of the best talents she has. I do not know if she is part of or she has worked with the military, intelligence department of the military, but what I know is that she is an expert in terms of finding out critical intelligence or information. So with her at his disposal, Vice President Chiwenga is miles ahead. I have seen a lot of people at Chiti because of A, B, C, D, she might be compromised or whatever. But I believe and trust that she is a well-calculated person who knows who to befriend, what to do, and why. But one of the critical issues at point is she useful to the general? Is she of use to the general? That is one of the most important issues which we need to look at and deal with at this point in time. So we are looking at this and understand. If you look at Vice President Chiwenga, he has improved in all fronts since the coming of Minotabo. He has improved everywhere. In terms of his approach to things, he has improved. Before Minotabo, Vice President Chiwenga was a man who was making some strange things. He could make strange orders while he is president or acting president. He could do all sorts of things which the people of Zimbabwe couldn't understand. But this time around, he's doing things more ethically and more professional, more than Emerson Mnangagwa. Yes, he is not up to standard or up to the standards we expect because of the system he's operating from, but he has totally transformed himself, has totally changed. It's because there are certain issues which I believe that is being told, Baba, 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 you don't move in this direction, you don't move in that direction. That is what is critical. That is what is very important. So going forward, there is something which is important to note, that there is a man called Sifas Ngube. Reports are suggesting that Sifas Ngube is 100% aligned to the Chiwenga faction. The major question is, how trustworthy is he? How effective is he? Will the other faction not use the courts to stop Sifas Ngube? So in terms of trustworthy, I believe that is trustworthy. In terms of effective, I believe that is effective. But when it comes to the issues of the other faction using the courts to stop Sifas Ngube, there is a great possibility that will happen, because there is a court case right now which is already challenging the outcome before they came. It was already there, which means the court might declare and say, this was futile. You have to go back to Congress. And in doing so, you see attempts to threaten people or delegates. Number two, to change delegates. Number three, even to use money to try and buy support from other delegates. There is a possibility. Also, the war veterans can be suspended from making critical decisions. That means I'm not a proper leadership. So they can be suspended in making critical decisions, which means Team Chiwenga will be left with without a backing within the party structures itself. And that will become more problematic. The only challenge we have in Zimbabwe is that the war veterans are linked 100% to ZANU-PF. Seems as if you cannot be a war veteran and be aligned to the other political parties. It will be something else. So to me, I agree with Majara Jairus, given the fact that we have seen so important issues. Transformation on Vice President Chiwenga seems as if somebody behind the scenes is preparing him to take over the leadership, is preparing him to be a president who will be better than Emerson. But he can only be better than Emerson when one critical issue happens. Number one, he needs to deassociate himself with the Team G40, which is now hyping praise on him, and they are doing whatever they can to be very, very, very close to him. He needs to do away with that team. Once he manages to do so, then you will see Vice President Chiwenga managing to outmaneuver Emmerson Mnangagwa successfully. But if he fails to do that, the Team G40 will disappoint him at a certain point in time. The possibility of him being disappointed is very high. And that will make him apologize even to his current boss. And the end will not be rosy. The end will be messy. So you can actually see that it's something else. Also, secondly, there is no credible information whether the top military brass is in agreement with VP aligning in Team G40. Some of them are crooks, very corrupt, very ignorant, heartless, which means if they come on board, it will be a continuation of Robert Mugabe and Emmerson Mnangagwa. So if you look at it in that perspective, you understand one thing. The same mistakes made by Robert Mugabe will be the same mistakes made by General Chiwenga if he is to incorporate G40 people and leave out other elements which are very important to stabilize this government, to bring order to this government, and to make a sound government. I'm not against some of the comrades, but the mentality which they have is it's a very bad mentality which will cost General Chiwenga a lot if he is to go by with them. So in as much as she might be a strategist, whatever, this is a problem. If they fail to deal with this issue I'm talking about, then they'll be doomed to fail. So let us agree that this team is outmaneuvering Team Lacoste left, right, and center, dismantling them. VP Chiwenga has won favor within the Matabeleland region. I'm not saying that is now the favorite, but he has won favor more than Emmerson because he has done great things within that region. Great things. Building schools, doing all sorts of things, A, B, C, D is here, is there. Something which has been lacking within ZANU-PF itself. He has been visible in that province so much. To an extent, ED has been left useless within the structures of ZANU-PF. He is simply a man with power at the top, but without using his political influence, asina power. The same was witnessed during the days of Robert Mugabe. That was the end of Robert Gabriel Mugabe. So, personally, the relationship between General Chiwenga and some Lacoste people is worrying me because there is nothing credible which is going to come out of that relationship. For example, imagine if Vice President Chiwenga suddenly wakes up tomorrow and he has taken over power from Emmerson Mnangagwa. The major question is, will he accept Nelson Chamisa to work with him? Imagine a situation where Vice President Chiwenga says, okay, I'm now President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and I'm appointing Nelson to be my Vice President. Will Team Lacoste accept it? Definitely not. Why? Once Chamisa becomes vice president, it means he has become so powerful to influence certain issues and critical issues within the government. And he will then find favor in the eyes of the people of Zimbabwe more because of how robust he is and how effective he is in terms of leadership. So the teams, they don't want to see Chamisa at the helm of the government. We are not talking about Chamisa joining ZANU-PF. You can be vice president from outside ZANU-PF and serve effectively. Then people prepare to go to the elections. They go to the elections. Aroa. You know, Vice President Chiwenga at this point in time can do that. Can do that to take over power from Emmerson Mnangagwa, bringing Chamisa as a vice president, bring another as a second vice president, then run the country up to 2028. Chamisa chironga neopposition yake vachita basa sebasa uko. ZANU-PF vachitawo zvavo zvavari kuitawo basa sebasa ikoko. Then come the elections, the reforms are put in place. Come the elections, everybody goes to participate and the people vote. It's very much possible if people are serious about reforms. Demilitarize everything and do things according to the constitution. Run elections and let anybody, anenga winner, odi or winner. Vice President Chiwenga can facilitate that. But it depends with his thinking. Is he so power hungry that even if he becomes president today, arakufirapo? That is something which is very important. So Vice President Chiwenga, if he was someone, he would think about his legacy, think about the future of the people of Zimbabwe, and make a correct decision, which is not blinded by the politics or the general politics happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. So it's something very important, and it's something which can never be washed away by the people. So in my own view, Minotabo is a very important strategist within the Chiwenga camp, but it all depends with how they are figuring everything out, how they are working, and they are planning. What does the future tell? That is something which is very important. If they fail to work onto that, the correct teams, having an issue of destroying or dismantling the ZANU-PF system, if they don't have that in mind, then they have to forget about power. They have to forget. Because remember, ED will never be removed as a GYY. Very strong, very strategic, and well secured within in terms of the security apparatus. It will be bloody to remove him. It won't be easy. Robert Mugabe was willing or willingly, after being forced, later on, he left power willingly. Although there was cohesion whatsoever, but he willfully resigned at the end. But will this one be willing to resign? I doubt. So as long as he continues to be saluted, it will be very difficult, which means Zimbabwe will be tense, and a lot of things will happen. So at this point in time, if you look at the events happening within ZANU-PF, Team Chiwenga is winning, but it depends for how long are they going to continue to win. Does the military itself trust Mini? That's another question. So critically looking, I have a feeling that the military itself might not trust Mini 100%. Somewhere. Which means there is certain information which is crucial, which can be hidden to Vice President Chiwenga. Number one, he's very slow in terms of responding. He reacts very slowly. That is the biggest weakness of VP Chiwenga. And that will make his comrades not tell him some critical information. Because boss, he feels that he cannot make certain decisions. because anenge achiti handibosi ndibosi. So that will be his downfall if he continues in that direction. But most importantly, if you don't bring on board Nelson Chamisa, then you are doing nothing. If you don't sit down, talk to Nelson Chamisa, agree on certain issues, then you are doing nothing. So we'll continue to watch the politics happening in Zimbabwe. Very interesting moments ahead.